Morning everyone, I'm back in Othery and this is going to be a little bit unusual because the section of the side to side from Othery to Glastonbury is going to actually be split into two parts. It's going to be split over 2024, which is last year, and 2025, which is what it is today, May the 2nd, 2025. There's a good reason for that and I will explain, but basically the first part of today's walk from Othery to Ashcot will be done today, 2nd of May 2025, and then the second part of the video from Ashcot back to Glastonbury will be from last year 2024. So just to make that clear, because it might be a tad confusing when you're watching the video. If not, brings back memories from last year. I sat on this bench in this churchyard, resting my aching feet waiting for the bus. Last year I had the rest day in Taunton and set off to walk to Glastonbury, but because my blisters were like really painful and I was like really tired, I knew that I wasn't going to get to Glastonbury in one day. So what I did was I walked to Othery and got the bus to Glastonbury, and then I was going to catch a bus back out to do Othery to Glastonbury the next day, but I was still pretty sore the next day, so I decided to take a day off basically and wander around Glastonbury instead and do the missing section the next day. As it happened, the next day was a Sunday, so there are no buses, so no way of getting back to Othery. So I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll set out from the campsite and I'll walk to Ashcot and back, which is probably around about the distance, maybe a bit less, but at least I've done something. I'll have done from Ashcot to Glastonbury, so that's what I did. But it always niggled me that there was a missing 10 miles that I didn't do from Othery to Ashcot, and it would have been so easy to thought, you know, I've done enough. By the time I've done the whole thing, I'll just call those a loss, but I couldn't do it, just could not do it, because I've been refusing lifts on the most busy roads just so I could say I've walked on my own 2 feet across the country. And I know that I would always think about those missing 10 miles, it would always haunt me. So what I've done is I've come back down, staying 2 nights again at Bobsfield, excellent camping site, and I've caught the bus to Othery, which is a feat in itself because the early bus just went straight by me, didn't bother picking me up, but I'm here now and I'm going to walk to Ashcot and catch a bus back to Glastonbury, and then tomorrow I will bus to Shepton Mallet and restart the side to side proper. So that's the plan anyway. It's a lovely day, we're going to have a glorious walk, and of course I've not got my full camping gear with me today because I've left my tent pitched because I'm there again tonight. So we'll just have a nice easy day. Headed to Middle Zoy and then Western Zoyland. The names may sound funny, but it's because Zoy is derived from the word soy, which years ago, when all this area would have been a shallow marshy sea, the bits of land sticking up above were known as soys. And so these high bits of land, that's where the name comes from. They would have been surrounded by marshland. I mean, there's still a lot of water around there, but the marshes have more or less all been drained now. This is delightful, a lovely lane, and lots of buttercups and daisies in the fields. It really is lovely. Bit random, some kind of thunderdome. I've picked up one of the old droves through the levels, and I'm just going to follow this track while it twists and turns its way to Western Ziland. Well, so far I'm glad I decided to come back and do this stretch again. It's proving to be quite delightful. I might change my mind on that in a little while's time, of course, but this bit's certainly very nice. And to be honest, last year I really wasn't feeling it by the time I got here, and if I had have come back to do the stretch from Othery back to Glastonbury, I was looking at following the main roads, because in order to avoid the main roads I'm actually doing quite a big loop away from Glastonbury at the moment, and then I climb up the hills and then head towards it. So I just didn't want to do that last year, and I was looking at following the roads, but they're quite busy and quite fast. I mean, it's the same road that I had to follow from the, what's it called? That little tump thing with the church on top, I forget what it's called now, to Othery, and it was a nightmare. There are no verges, it's a really fast road. I don't think the other one I was looking at would have been any better. And when I caught the bus in this morning, it certainly wasn't. I could see that there are very few verges and very few places to get out of the way of the car, so I'm glad I didn't do that. Although this is longer and more convoluted, it at least avoids any major roads, and it's a delight so far. It's a bit rutted, a bit hard going in places. Approaching Western Ziland now. My walk doesn't actually take me to the middle of it, but I might find a place to stop and rest. Oh, look at this. I've walked down to the church, St Mary's in Western Ziland, and look, there's a whole exhibition on the Battle of Sedgemoor of 1685, complete with a cannon. Proper visitor centre here. The Battle of Sedgemoor was fought on the moors of Western Ziland and was the last major battle on English soil when Englishmen took arms against fellow Englishmen. The battle lasted for nearly 5 hours. Over 300 rebels have been killed on the battlefield, but another 1,000 were killed as they fled. Casualties were much lower in the Royal Army, with only 80 killed. 500 rebel prisoners were held in this church awaiting trial. Conditions were cramped and unsanitary, and the church had to be fumigated afterwards. 5 died from the wounds in church, 22 were hanged nearby, but 1 prisoner managed to escape. I'm just leaving Western Ziland. I walked down to the church and took advantage of some tables and chairs there, and had a lunch break and had a poke around the exhibition they've got on the Battle of Sedgemoor of 1685. I'm just heading off on some tracks through the marshes. It still looks quite marshy around here actually, and this will take us to the foot of the ridge of hills that I have to follow to get back to Ashcot. So here's hoping that it's going to be good surfaces and no cows, because I have seen a few cows, so I'm hopeful that there won't be too many. Hopefully none at all. We shall see. Ah, it's the Red Baron. There's a lot of these abandoned structures around, but then there is an airfield listed, so I wonder if they are buildings that were used in the war. This is Sedgemoor Drove. I'm going to follow this for a bit, right up to those hills, and the villages in the distance. It looks a little bit uneven, so I hope it doesn't get any more difficult. Walking through the heart of the old Somerset levels now. Strange to think at one time all this would have been marsh. Actually, it's not that strange, because if you look, it's only just a step above that now. All the little cut-throughs of the waterways and the reeds and the kind of vegetation. Feels like it's just one step away from being marshland again. Impressive bridge, that. Not such an impressive bridge. Here we go, the climb up onto the top of the ridge. This is Sutton Mallet Church. What a lovely little church. Small, but lovely. Proper boxed in pews. Sea of cowslips. How lovely. Not far to go now to get to Ashcot. It's been a mixture of tracks, roads and fields, but it's not been too bad. I was a bit worried about trusting the public footpaths again, but they've been okay today. Just got a little stretch of road walking back to Ashcot, and there's a pub open in Ashcot, so there might be half a side with my name on it while I'm waiting for the bus. It's certainly been a hot one. And that's it for Othery to Ashcot. Those 10 miles of an hour being well and truly closed. So without any further ado, I shall pass you back to 2024. This is Ashcot. I believe there's a church here. If there's a bench, I'm taking advantage of that for a rest. Look at this. Little village store and pantry. And how good is that? It's excellent for these communities. What a good idea. Look at that. Look at that. A bench. Yeehaw. That is a very well preserved grave from 1673. Nice rest and something to eat in the churchyard. Nice and peaceful there. There's some sad graves though, including one for a girl, 6-year-old girl who had died in 1948. Such a shame. I'm just walking through Ashcot now. I'll be heading down towards Street, that way. Such a relief to be back into quiet country lanes. There's even a bit of a verge, so when the inevitable big thing does come, I can squeeze myself away much easier. This is Walton. Another busy road running through it. I just hope this path goes all the way to street. If it does, that'll be good. Spotted this handsome bench and I thought it needed a bit of love. Plus I needed to get away from the traffic noise for a few minutes. Street parking. Just walking into street now, down this long busy road. Well, it's busy for a Sunday. It's just crazy. Really not sure what that is. Street art? So this is my last night here in this campsite, Bobsfield in Glastonbury. Then I move on tomorrow towards Shepton Mallet. I'm not quite sure how far I'll get. I really am taking this day to day because of my blisters. I know I'm not going to have time now to go all the way, but I will come back and finish this, and that's a promise. Like I say, I will get it done side to side. It just won't all be in one go now, I'm afraid. But these things happen. You have to sort of take things in the stride and run with them and rejig plans, because you just don't know what's going to happen at the end of the day. But whatever happens, you know, I'll enjoy it. I'll get it done.